Welcome, and thank you for joining us, everybody. My name is Dwayne Henderson, and I'm a member of Cree Lighting's Training and Education team and host of our e-learning series. For those watching live, happy Friday. We made it to the end of the week again. Quickly about the sessions, once we get rolling, we'll have about 15 minutes of content. The presenter will hang around for Q&A, and participants, although are muted, we do encourage you guys to use the chat box and the Q&A box to ask questions. Feel free to ask those during the presentation, and again, we'll plan to answer those questions at the end of the session. As you know, Friday is controls-related content, and for those that have been following Cree Lighting closely, you've likely been hearing a lot more about our product integration around Lutron and the expanded, as part of our expanded controls offering. To lead us through on what's been happening, I'd like to welcome from product marketing, Kathryn Casper. Good morning, Kathryn.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Great. Hey, before we get started, can you just quickly talk about your role in the business, and then we'll get rolling?
Sure. I have responsibility for all of our indoor and industrial products within Cree Lighting. So,
perfect. All right, let's get started.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us on this lovely Friday. We've made it through another week, almost. We're almost to the end. So, today we're going to cover how we at Cree Lighting are expanding our in-fixture controls offering to include Lutron-enabled fixtures. We are very excited about this collaboration as our product offerings align really very well with Lutron for the markets and applications that we both serve. So where I'm going to start with this is I'm going to give an overview of which fixture families will be enabled within both Lutron's wired and wireless offerings. And my plan is, like I said, to leave time at the end to answer any questions that you guys have. So let's jump in. Starting with the ecosystem enabled family. So this is Lutron's wired platform that you may have seen before as the quantum system. So basically what we do within that is we take one of their ecosystem drivers and incorporate that into our fixture families. And then in the field, that will then be connected into their wired control system. So starting out our CR Troffer series, this is actually something that's been available for a while now. And so that is still available and still an option out there to connect into ecosystem. This one's done a little bit differently where we actually embed a chip into our driver, but you still get the same performance levels as anything else. Next, we have our KR downlight series. Now this is going to be for both the 4 and 6 inch downlights in a round or a square. That will work within the ecosystem that we have that driver platform in our catalog, and you'll find those options on the specification sheets. Just launched last week would be the expansion into our Stylus linear series. So if you're not aware of what Stylus is, it's our 3 inch linear family. So that's going to be a recessed, a surface mount, a suspended, both just direct and a direct indirect, and also a wall mount with those features. And in our recent launch, we've also added corners and some other options within that. And so now you can get the ecosystem driver within that family, expanding kind of the options and places where you can put that. So coming in June, we are doing some updates to our ZR Troffer series. And so the ecosystem option will be available here. We do have a couple different ecosystem driver options available for this family. So either a 5% dimming level or a 1%, kind of what is needed for that application. And then the next month, we'll be launching a new retrofit kit. So this is going to be more of a door frame style retrofit kit. And one thing that we're doing with this particular one is we've added in what Lutron would call their 3-wire driver option. The purpose for that is that if there is a legacy Lutron installation that had fluorescent, this makes for a very easy retrofit. So basically you would wire it in just the same as a normal retrofit, and it's going to work with that system that was a legacy fluorescent. And so really kind of expanding some options and possibilities for that. So next, let's move to the indoor wireless solution with Vive. So Lutron's Vive solution, it's pretty simple where you have a in-fixture module that can either have a sensor or be RF only. They have options for switches, sensors, even plug load control that then works with the complete package. So again, last month when we launched Stylus, we also added in the Vive. That became our first fixture family with Vive integration. So one thing that I want to note there is obviously it's a linear series. So if you have continuous row, the way that that will work with Vive is each fixture section will have its own Vive module. So that's anywhere from a 4-foot section all the way up to a 12-foot section for suspended installations. The reason why I want to note that is that then also makes it very easy for a contractor. Their installation is going to be just the same as if it was a standard non-controlled fixture, because basically each fixture acts as its own and interacts with the module within that, and then the grouping happens at time of commission within those. With the expansion that we're doing with ZR, we'll also be adding Vive here. One thing that I also want to note is that with this update that we're doing for our ZR troffers, it's not just adding controls. We are also expanding our lumen package offerings. We're going to go up to a 10,000 lumen 2x4. I say that simply because knowing that there's some school applications and some higher atrium applications that would be needed. So just kind of saying it's not just controls, there are some other feature benefits. And so that will be coming soon too. Last, with the retrofit kit, we'll also be enabling this with Vive. So lots of options coming for the Vive integration with fixtures that make it easy to really cover most applications within a job that would have that. Last, I want to cover the outdoor wireless system, so the Limelight solution. So this has primarily been targeted for parking garage. So what better fixture to add than to add in our IG parking series. So this is actually launching today. I believe that there's a training webinar that follows this one that goes over all the features and benefits of the updates to IG. One thing that you may ask is, what about some of the other areas for outside? Well, Lutron is working on a 7-pin twist lock controller that would cover top deck of a parking garage or even parking lots and other area options. And one thing that I want to kind of note that is just a benefit that Lutron offers is they do have the ability to bring all of these 3 different systems together. And that is their enterprise view. So when you think about it from a campus standpoint or needing a single pane of glass, I just highlight this to show that they do have that option that pulls together a Quantum installation, a Vive, and a Limelight into one kind of software package and offering. So I want to kind of running through some of this quickly, but want to give time to address any questions that we have. I'm going to leave up this overview slide. And so it gives a little bit more detail. So every fixture family that I just talked about, what are the details behind the ecosystem? And anyone who's designed with an ecosystem, you would understand what those kind of, what the letters mean. Those tie to the drivers within the Lutron offering. So just for example, on the ZRC, an LDE1 means a 1% dimming, where the LDE5 is a 5% dimming. You'll notice for the Vive enabled, there's the option, they have an option that is a with sensor, and then one that is RF only. And so there's just there is some flexibility there as we kind of go through that. So with that, and then down at the bottom, you can kind of see all spec sheets are available for everything, even the things that haven't launched yet. And so we also have down there the dates when we expect to be selling or shipping those different products. So with that, Dwayne, I think we can go to see if there's any questions.
Okay, we do have a couple questions that have come in. The first one, and probably a really important question, is Smartcasts going to be around? So maybe talk about Smartcasts and Lutron and kind of where everything kind of fits into our control strategy.
Sure. So as you know, last week we did Simply Snap with the Synapse. And so we're not adding Lutron to get rid of Smartcasts. We're adding it as an option to give our customers, your customers, our customers together, the options that they need for what they are doing within their application. So part of that is, how do we better serve our customers to have the controls platforms that are going into those applications. Smartcast is still an offering with every single one of these options that I talked about. With aside from the IG, there is a Smartcast element that is available and will be available at that same time. So Stylus already has a Smartcast that launched at the same time as Vive. The new ZRC and the retrofit kit will also have that option. So hopefully that helps cover that. It's not a replacement. It's an addition.
There's also a question about will we be adding Odyssey? Now, my understanding of Odyssey is that Odyssey should be able to control these solutions without any additional integration from our part. I don't know if we can talk about that at all, Kathryn.
Well, there's a few different options there. So we are looking at ways that we can integrate Odyssey. They do have a bolt-on module, but we are also looking at ways to fit it into the same form factor in the way that we're doing our Smartcast integration, so that we can extend our offering to include Odyssey.
Okay, and it sounds like they do have an integrated module as well, if that's required. Hey, on the outdoor side, we looked at some of the solutions. Is there any work going on with a 7-pin receptacle with Lutron that we might want to share?
So yes, as I said, that they are working on development. Well, part of that is in their campus, they have actually installed some of our OSQ fixtures for their testing, for all their engineering testing of their new 7-pin with the Limelight system. So yes, there is work going on there.
And then there was another question about LS, LSQ, so further integration. I don't know if you're able to tilt our cards, anything there happening?
Yeah, so there is an active project there for, we are doing an update to our LS series. And within that, we will be updating LS to include both Smartcast and Lutron. So what we're doing with this is basically we're looking at, from a product team, we're looking at our roadmap and making sure that anything that, any projects that if we're updating features, benefits, or even a new product, we're looking at what control solutions do our customers need. And a lot of those different situations, we're going to be able to offer at least 2 to 3 and even sometimes 4 options, just because we know that different applications or different end users may want something different.
So we have the Luminaire part of that with Lutron enablement. There's a question about parts and pieces, and it looks like this person's not the Lutron agent. So they're just kind of wondering the path to market beyond the Luminaire. So
when it comes to the other additional components within the Lutron system, so what we are going to be selling is a Lutron-enabled fixture. So when it comes to the switches or the sensors, those are going to be available through a normal distribution channel. And so those should already be established, as Lutron is ingrained in the same markets as we are.
There's another question about, and this is probably more of a specialist request type of question regarding minimum quantities to get additional fixtures Lutron embedded. So I don't know if we have any guidance there other than contact us, or any thoughts there, Kathryn?
I would say, please reach out to us and let us know exactly what fixture families you would be looking for, because there's a good chance it may either already be on our roadmap that we're already working on it, or how we can kind of work through some of those different elements. And so, but please let us know, especially if you're seeing jobs that require it and we need one other fixture family. We're trying to obviously clip away at the highest volume ones first, but knowing that there's more that we'll need to address.
I don't know if we know the answer to this one yet, but there's a question about drawings in terms of Cree Lighting doing drawings, Lutron doing the drawings, working collaboratively around that, or maybe we do the lighting piece, they do the controls piece. Has there been any discussions on that?
So at the present, we would do the lighting layout and provide those drawings, and Lutron would separately do the controls drawings like they do today. what we are doing is we are working with them about ways to get, so they have some contractor friendly, not just contractor friendly, end user, anyone design tools. And so we are working with them as to get some of our fixture offerings into that system. I don't have a date for when that will be in place. So right now it would be the way that your normal Lutron provides the drawings that show your control lines, and basically the same way as a fixture schedule, you see the layout as to where the fixtures would go. The goal in the long term is to find a way to add in our fixture options into their design tools.
Okay, thank you. There was a question, I don't know if you've covered this, about integrating Lutron into any of our high-bay solutions. Has there been any discussion there or guidance you can offer?
Well, right now, so yes, we have had those conversations primarily with Lutron as to what they would recommend, because right now they wouldn't position any of their solutions necessarily as a high-bay solution. I think there's some legacy installations utilizing Limelight, but that's not the primary installation for that. I believe that's a better roadmap question for Lutron than it is for us.
And there's a question about if we can share if our Vive integrated solution offers both daylight harvesting and motion control. Are both come with Vive?
Yeah, so the censored option that goes into that module, it is going to have, I know that it has the motion control. I'm not positive if that has the integrated daylight harvesting. I can confirm that if it looks like somebody answered. So yes, it does have both.
Yep, somebody's helping us out with that one.
Thank you. Thanks. So yeah, it is both. So.
Okay, there is a question about pricing. That one obviously would be referred to through the channel, right? If somebody has questions about what the adders might be. Correct.
We have all of our agents in the channel have pricing details, and if you don't, let me know and I'll make sure that you have it. Even the 2 fixture families that aren't launched, internally we have preliminary pricing that has been shared. And so let me know if you're not getting that information, and I'll make sure that we tie out with the correct agent that has that pricing detail for their territory.
Okay, well, Kathryn, I'm not seeing any more questions. You want to just quickly go to your next slide and you can have your contact information up real quickly?
Yes.
And as you do that, there's a question about updated collateral in terms of marketing that we might be working on to support this. And I think in one of the previous sessions, there was also a conversation about positioning the different controls options that we are now offering. So any comment there before we close up shop?
Yeah, so we have created, it's just a brief overview collateral piece for all these fixture families that are now enabled with the Lutron options. And so that is, we have primarily shared that with the agents that we share, but we are going to be posting, we are going to make that available without an agency logo on it. It was done in a way to have a co-branded kind of thing. So we have that now. And as we update any other collateral, we're adding in that information there as like if we're working on an application specific kind of guidance, we're adding those different elements there. But I think finding a way to give a better overview of all the controls options, that is something that we have been talking about, both in a digital collateral as to how we represent that on our web page and on our website, along with your more traditional printed collateral. So more to come there. We are working on that.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Kathryn, for joining us. So I want to go to the next slide, and I'll kind of wrap up. I do want to thank you, Kathryn, again for your time and educating us around what we're doing with Lutron. I also want to thank the audience again for joining us. Looking forward to next week, our design space will be office spaces, so we'll look at that recommended practice around that space. On Wednesday, part 2 of Eric Hallgaard's presentation around TM30, we'll look at applying that new metric to the application space. If you didn't see part 1, that's available on our YouTube channel. And then next Friday, the controls piece, we'll be looking under the hood about software. And we've talked a couple times about APIs. We'll get a little bit deeper into the application program interface and what that is. So look forward to you guys joining us for that next week. Again, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot Kathryn a note directly. Any feedback, feel free to shoot me a note. And again, all content's available on our YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, we certainly would encourage you to do so. Again, thanks for your time, everybody. Enjoy your weekends. Take care.